Hey guys, I hope all is well. Welcome back to the Truth Talk podcast. I'm here again with D.
Hi everybody, I hope you guys are having a great day.
The first thing I want to talk about was Juice WRLD's recent album release. It's called Fighting Demons, and I was on YouTube when it was recommended me one of the songs off of it, and I only clicked on it due to the fact of the album cover. The first thing I noticed was the devil that was literally put in the album cover right behind Juice WRLD so openly. I felt like I had to talk about this because honestly, even after he passed, I feel like the record labels are still using him for the same exact agenda. It's like they take his image and they know that they can manipulate his fans, still using his image, still targeting his fans to follow the Masonic agenda because they know how committed they are to Juice WRLD and how much they loved him. But you can literally see that they show no respect for him. If they thought this man was in heaven, I don't see why they would be portraying his album covers like this after he passed away. Just to me, it seems very dark, and it clearly indicates where they feel like he would be eventually. When Judgment Day comes, they don't think that Juice WRLD would make it to heaven according to this album cover, as you can see. In my opinion, I feel like the record labels have just been taking advantage of Juice WRLD and releasing as many songs as they can and collecting as much revenue, continuing to use him, soaking up whatever relevancy he has left, using Juice WRLD directly to manipulate his fans. D, when you see this album cover, what do you see?
To me, it looks like they're trying to depict where they believe that he is, with the route that he took to get the success that he had. And even the name of the album, Fighting Demons, is like a play on where he is, He's in hell fighting demons for the path that he took. We all know that he was set in place to start spreading a demonic message. That's clear through every song that he has. It's really sad that even after his passing, his record label has chosen to continue on to use his face to spread this message.
His record label has been collecting all the revenue and still using his name and face to get to his fans and manipulate the masses. And it's crazy because there's so many artists that meet the same exact fate, and the record labels are the one that benefit the most every single time. They tend to buy out the family shares of the artist by giving them a big upfront check, the same way they did to the artist. They know most people cannot deny a nice $1 million, $2 million check. They'll take that check and they'll go running happy. They think that all their problems are solved. So when an artist passes, they'll go to the parents of that artist or whoever owns the estate of that artist and they say, hey, I want to make a deal. I want to buy, your shares of your son's royalties. Parents at first might be saying no because the offer wouldn't be there, but the record label is just playing ball. They want to see how low they can get them to agree to it, because at the end of the day, they know that these people aren't into music. They know that these people don't understand the business. So if they approach the family, they're able to get the family to take a large amount of money that's really worth less than what the artist's royalties is truly worth, like we saw with Michael Jackson. It's clear why these record labels keep releasing these albums, because if you just pay attention, the songs barely seem finished. They seem like old songs, but they're repackaged, and the imagery had no part with the artist because the artist is no longer here. It's the puppet masters, the people that would always behind the image, pulling the strings, and you can see them still pulling the strings, using Juice WRLD to spread the same Masonic agenda. In the album cover, there's literally the devil standing behind him. He's dressed in all black. They clearly gave it the name Fighting Demons just to put it all in our faces, like they love to do. This is exactly what they did with Juice WRLD. I made the dark truth about Juice WRLD a while back, and I explained what his agenda was, how he was influenced negatively by Future's agenda, and how at the end of the day, Juice WRLD admitted to being directly influenced by Future to use lean and a bunch of other stuff that eventually cost him his life. That's literally what ended up taking him from the world. It was an agenda he chose to spread to his own fans willingly because he knew that was what he had to do in order to earn his spot in the industry. The industry picks their artists wisely because they need them to spread specific morals to their fans. That's why I made this channel, because I noticed this within my own people in my own neighborhood in New York. When I was growing up, so many people did so much dumb things because the artists they listened to told them to do those dumb things. A lot of people don't like to admit that they're easily influenced, but that's the thing. That's so contradicting when you see them and they're dressing exactly like their favorite artist is dressed, and they're talking exactly how their favorite artist is talking, and they're partaking in the same exact lifestyle. These are things that we see as we're young, when we're 10, 11, and it becomes embedded into our minds. These record labels know that Juice WRLD was a one-in-a-lifetime artist. He had a connection with his fans. So many fans connected to him emotionally, not just a party, not because they liked his music, but his image to them connected with them. So they used Juice WRLD even after he passed to continue to connect to those very same people.
A lot of Juice WRLD's fans are young people, so they're very easily manipulated by the words that he says, his actions. And it's not just him. There's other artists, many of other artists that are out here spreading not only demonic agendas, but, violent agendas. There's children out here trying to pursue rap careers thinking that violence and stealing and, everything that lumps into that category is the way to get there. And then you have the other kids that are listening to Juice WRLD that's trying to get their hands on whatever they can get their hands on to do the same things that he was doing. You got to keep in mind that these are children that they're giving their music to, and the record labels know that, and that's just disgusting. They have no chill on who they're trying to get this out to. I think the younger the audience, the better. The easier they can manipulate them, the sooner they can get them on.
This is not a new tactic. The pharmaceutical companies love to target these kids using these artists. The same way that the tobacco industry used to target minorities in urban cities. Literally, it was noted that back in the day when they were promoting these tobacco products to the minorities, they used to literally hand them out for free. They were giving out tobacco products to all these people. And we all know why they do this, because they wanted these kids to build the dependency from a young age. They were handing these things out in these urban areas. They wanted these 18-year-old kids to take one hit and then for the rest of their lives be addicted. That's the same thing we see with these pharmaceutical companies that create these substances that these artists are promoting to their fans, and their fans are consuming these things and not knowing why their life doesn't turn out the way it should. They're being caught in a web that is literally created to do that exact thing, to manipulate them and steer them off that path. When Juice WRLD was alive, you can clearly see what his agenda was. You can clearly see what he was being used for. And now that he's not here, you can still see that they're still using him to push that same Masonic agenda. Like I said at the beginning of this, they had no reason of showing Juice WRLD like this, but they chose to. They want people to know that price that Juice WRLD paid to get where he is. It's clear to me what they're trying to show us with this album cover. What do you guys think? What do you see in this album cover? Because if I'm wrong, please let me know. Now let's move on and let's talk about the metaverse. Why shouldn't we trust the metaverse? There's a lot of reasons. The first reason is because I strongly believe this is one step closer into initiating the New World Order. I strongly believe that the metaverse is part of the Masonic plan and has been for years. This isn't the first time we ever hear about the metaverse. The metaverse has been a word tossed around in certain movies and shows. They knew that this day was coming because they've been preparing for this. They wanted to create an artificial world to put all us in. We've seen this already in their movies and we've seen this in their shows. They have been planning this. This is how they manipulate us into doing certain things, into agreeing to their creations. They slowly introduce it to us in movies, films, TV shows, and little by little we get used to it, that by the time we're actually introduced to this in real life, we're used to it. It's called predictive programming, and that's exactly what they did. This metaverse here, in my opinion, it is a trap. It is another way to desensitize us and remove us from our spiritual self. They do not want us to stay on path. They want to make sure they can lead us away, and they want to make sure they can control us. What better way is there to control us than this? Creating a metaverse, a world that they completely control, that they can manipulate everything you see and detach you from the real world. D, would you ever join the metaverse?
Personally, no. I don't think that being detached from the real world would be necessary. I have a family that, I would love to spend time with, not in a pretend world, but in real life, because you cannot get real life time back. This is a way of them trying to take all of our time away from us. They've already, shoved TV down our throats, streaming, and then they put phones in our hands. And think about it, even our kids, the Gen Z, that's the iPad generation. They all have iPads shoved in their faces, and that's exactly what they're trying to do. They're trying to distract us because, they have a bigger plan, and that bigger plan is, at the end of the day, to try to control what we're doing.
You see how you said the iPad generation? That is a very important thing. I never thought of it that way, but you have a good point there, because think about it. We all have phones in our hand. I work off my phone 90% of the time when I'm working on these videos, when I'm, researching. I spend a lot of time on my phone. I spend a lot of time in front of screens because I have to work on a computer to make these videos, and there's a lot of time that I spend staring at a screen and not staring at the real world and not looking at the outside, the trees and the sky and the actual world that we live in. They already have initiated it. We can already see them desensitizing us. You could already see them disconnecting us from the real world. This is the next step. There's a reason why Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg are the ones that are leading this project. When they introduced Facebook, Facebook was another big step in that plan. It was another big step in the New World Order. Since then, things have never been the same. We used to use MySpace, we used to use AIM, but those things didn't consume most of our time. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, All those things came after Facebook. If I'm not mistaken, Facebook was the first thing. And then we got all these other sites that consume so much of our attention that detach us from the real world. They want you to join their fake world so they can have more manipulation over you, show you exactly what they want you to see. And not only that, they can target you and make sure that you spend your money when they need you to spend your money. Not saying that they don't do that now, but they can definitely do it a lot better if you're inside of their metaverse. I don't find it coincidental, not one bit, that this metaverse is now set after what happened in 2020. After that year that so many people questioned, now we have a metaverse. A new world where people are going to be able to connect with each other. It's a new world. You get my point? A new world. What have they been talking about for the last, 100 years now? A new world order. This metaverse is their new world. So if you ask me, if we put 2 and 2 together, this might be their new world order. This might be exactly what they wanted. They want us to disconnect from the real world and plug into their fake one, where they have more manipulation, where they have more control. And this is only the beginning. Who knows what this is going to get to? D, how do you feel about the metaverse? Would you say it's part of the new world order?
Definitely, and I do not find it surprising that it's coming from Facebook, that they're the ones who are funding it. Facebook is one of those social medias that know the most about us. It has all of our families, our photos on there. We literally put statuses up about what we're doing and where we're going, locations. Not only that, they are the ones that literally advertise the most direct ads. Like, they know so much about your personal life that I don't find it surprising that they're going to try to get everybody to join a world to, have more control over their people that they have.
There's been a lot of claims already against Facebook, like I covered in one of my previous podcast episodes, how they were being accused of spreading hate and capitalizing off hate and making money off hate. We think about Facebook. They've never been on the side of for the people. They've been on the side of selling data. That's what Facebook does. That's what their business is. They create these interesting apps for people to use that are literally consume the person that joins it. But in reality, they're just leading you on to get as much information as they can from you. They want to know everything about you. They want to know what you like, who you don't like, what you want to do, what you don't want to do, and then they want to shape you using your information against you. That's what Facebook does. So the fact that they created this metaverse, this new world, they want to be able to have even more control over you, and most people are going to just jump right in. Most people aren't going to question. They think this is cool, and don't get me wrong, it sounds very futuristic and it sounds very interesting and appealing, but the reality is we know what road this is leading down. We know what this is creating. They're making this fake world that people don't have to worry about the real one no more. All people want to do is live life and it not be so difficult, and they don't want to struggle too much. That's what most people in this world want. When the government or the leading class or whoever's running the show tends to offer people that same thing, people love to take that opportunity. This is the end, in my opinion. This is their beginning of their new world order. This is what 2020 was. We need to wake up and see the signs. It's clear what Facebook wants you guys to do. They want you to follow in their next steps of their new world order. What do you guys think about the metaverse? I want you guys to let me know below. Would you guys join the metaverse? Do you guys want me to make a full video on the metaverse? Comment below. And now let's move on and talk about the next topic. The next thing I want to talk about was actually TikTok. Because TikTok, similar to Facebook, they have been known to manipulate their users. And we already know that TikTok is just like all the rest of them. They gather information and they sell it. That's how they make their money. That's their true business. But it's even worse when we know that majority of the population uses TikTok, especially a lot of kids. A lot of these kids are now being manipulated from a young age. They're being able to program these children using TikTok and Instagram that they're having at such young ages. And the way they manipulate these children becomes even easier because they know so much about them since such a very young age. TikTok is dangerous, and we've seen it. So many dangerous trends have been going on there. So much manipulation that these kids just blindly follow. What do you feel? Do you actually have a TikTok account where you actually use? Me, on the other hand, I have the Truth Is TikTok account, but I strictly use it just to post, to promote the channel so people could come and continue to see the truth. That's why I'm on TikTok. What do you feel about TikTok? You that I see you using TikTok more than me.
TikTok can be very dangerous, especially depending on the side that you're on. There's a lot of scandalous things that you can see on there being done, that there's children repeating that they, obviously shouldn't be doing. And then there's another side where you have people who are claiming they're making videos for children, but then they're adding things in there like scare jumps or things that shouldn't be viewed for children's eyes and passing it off as children material, but that's just a way of them trying to get those things into your child's brain at a young age. There's been many challenges that have gone around that I've seen younger people participate in that they should not have been doing, and nobody stops it. And TikTok doesn't take any of these down. They don't give them violation strikes. The videos, they become viral. They end up getting millions of views.
They go viral because they want to reward these children for doing those challenges. They want to reward them for spreading that destruction.
It's a gateway for people who prey on younger people, especially since, like I said, they don't censor any of these things. They reward these children for the action. So, then you have more of them jumping on doing these challenges. It's not a safe place. So if you do have younger kids on that app, I do recommend that you do pay attention, close attention to what they're viewing, because even if you put a parental block on their account, I will be the first to tell you that parental block does not work.
We have to remember what they're using all this for. It's all a manipulation tool. It's all a way of distracting us. TikTok and the metaverse, all of it is just the same exact thing. I know I say this often. The agenda is real though. All you have to do is open your eyes and you can clearly see that. Why now? Why are they offering us a metaverse now? Because they know that most people disconnected from each other and need a connection. So what did they do? They created one that they can control. But I honestly feel that this was always the plan. This is just part of it, and this might be the last part. TikTok has rewarded evil several times. People go to TikTok because they know that it's easy for them to go viral. So they'll do anything for it. They'll go on there and they'll do whatever's needed. And TikTok loves this because they need to make sure that they can manipulate you. And by all these people going crazy, doing all type of things to go viral on their site, you can see how TikTok has their manipulation over them. And we know that TikTok targets children. There's a lot of adults on there and older teenagers, but there's also a lot of children. Like we saw with the WAP challenge. There was so much children participating in the WAP challenge. That should not be consumed by children. But somehow, parents all over the world were allowing their children to participate in this challenge. And nobody questions that Cardi B wouldn't even allow her own child to listen to it, but somehow the song was good enough to be heard by everybody else's child and even participating in a challenge with it. Cardi B doesn't care if your child listens to it. She recommends that you watch your child like she watches hers. But the thing is, she knows that she's marketing her music to your children. She's being hypocritical with that very statement. If she cared so much about children and even her child, she wouldn't be making music and then targeting it to children and then allowing it to be on TikTok to be used by children, where we know that most of the people on TikTok are children. Well, that's it for this podcast. Please make sure you guys leave a comment for what you guys want to see next podcast, and I'll see you guys next week.
Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you for watching this episode of The Truth Is. If you would like to further support the channel, join me on Patreon. The link would be in the description. If you join before the 28th of this month, you could be entered to this month's monthly raffle, where you can win a shirt, a cash prize, and even pick a video topic. Also, please leave a comment below on your thoughts on this video and on any future topics you would like to see me cover on my channel. If you like this video, please hit the like button, as this helps other people find these videos. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and hit the bell so you can be notified of future videos. Please follow me on Instagram at TheTruthIs01 and on TikTok at TheTruthIs. I will gladly appreciate it. Thank you. Goodbye.